Hello, what is up? Thank you. Cheers. Coke Zero Cherry, but they don't have that in Europe. Actually, they might. I have no idea. I went to take a sip, but it's so low on. I drank so much already that it got kind of awkward trying to like get the. Anyway, that was a fake sip, is what I'm getting at. Teaching in the U.S. versus the rest of the world. I like that title. That is, I need to know, and I think 5.6 million other people agree. That's a good title, Vox. Go check out their channel. It's a very small little up-and-coming YouTube channel. Vox. Let's watch.
This is Anna. She just graduated from college in the United States.
Congrats.
And this is Sophia. She also just graduated from college in Finland. Anna
Okay,
and Sophia,
why'd you have to one-up Anna on her special day?
Both want to be middle school teachers. But it turns out there's a good chance their experiences will be very different. So different that Anna is twice as likely as Sophia to leave teaching for good.
Wow, that's embarrassing. What does that say? Well, teachers are notoriously underpaid here in America. So I wonder, maybe that's not the case for over there in Finland.
That's causing a problem. The supply of new certified teachers in the United States is shrinking, but the number of public school students keeps growing.
Oh, there's an easy solution. Raise the pay. That's basically how it all works. Like supply and demand, you need more teachers. You got to pay them more.
Massive teacher shortages.
Warnings about
Or maybe ChatGPT will be the new teacher.
teacher turnover.
Educators call Colorado's teacher shortage a crisis.
So what makes Sophia stay and Anna leave? And how can the United States keep more of its teachers in the classroom?
Pay them more.
In the US, teachers work about 9.25 hours a day. That's an hour and a half longer than the average for teachers in other countries in the Organization for Economic Development, or OECD for short. That's a group of mostly wealthy countries that economists often compare to one another.
That's interesting. So does that mean the kids go home or they go in later than we do?
Teachers in the US work more than 2.5 hours longer than their colleagues in South Korea, Finland, and Israel. There are some countries with similar teacher work hours to the United States.
I'm sure like China, right?
Like New Zealand, Singapore, and the UK. Teachers in Japan, for example, work nearly 2 hours more per day than teachers in the US.
Look at that.
But in all of these countries, I
bet it's similar for China.
Teaching hours are much lower. Of the 9.25 hours that American teachers work every day, they spend about 5.5 of those hours actually teaching. That's more than the OECD average, and significantly more than teachers in New Zealand, the UK, South Korea, Japan, and Singapore. Teachers in these countries get more time for planning, grading, and collaborating with each other.
So they have more teachers, I guess.
So do all those extra teaching hours translate to better results? Students in the US score slightly above the OECD average on the PISA exam, which tests 15-year-olds all over the world in reading, science, and math. But they score lower than students in countries like Finland, South Korea, Japan, and Singapore, where teaching hours are much lower.
Why have I never heard of the pizza? I'm trying to remember, did I take the pizza when I was 15?
If we look inside Anna and Sophia's classrooms in the US and Finland, we'd see Anna teaching an hour and a half more per day than Sophia. Anna also spends more time planning lessons, grading student work, and leading extracurricular activities. But those extra hours aren't necessarily reflected in Anna's paycheck. If you
That's so stupid.
Compare Sophia to other people in Finland with college degrees, she makes about 98 cents for every dollar that they make.
Okay. Should be 100%, but okay.
That's on par with the pay ratio between teachers and college graduates in similar countries. But Anna and other American middle school teachers only make about 65
Yikes!
cents for every dollar that their college-educated peers make. Still, as politicians in the US never tire
I mean, they do get summer break, which is, 3 months out of the year. So there is that at least, but it's still a problem because it's not like you just go on summer break and get like a good job. Because who's going to hire someone just for 3 months for a high-paying job? So yeah.
of pointing out,
We spend more per student than almost
Any country, I think.
than nearly every other country in the developed world.
Wow.
but that figure varies a lot by state. New York spends twice as much as California on each student. Mississippi spends less than half as much as Alaska. And American schools generally spend a lot more on security and other non-instructional costs than schools in other countries. Plus, if you look at the share
How sad is that?
of its
Security. That's what it's going
national
to.
wealth or GDP that each country spends on education, you
That's an interesting stat. It's like, how much do we reinvest in ourselves?
can see there are plenty of countries spending a bigger share than the US.
Yeah.
There's one other difference between Anna and Sophia. When they're asked whether people in their country value teachers, 2 out of 3 Finnish teachers say yes, but just 1 in 3 American teachers agree. There are a lot of reasons why teachers like Anna leave the classroom, but if the US wants to keep more of them around, we might want to take a few pages from Finland's book.
There's definitely a lot of reasons. The main one is the pay. That's got to be the main one, right? That's got to be the main one, the pay. And then from there, a lot of teachers are treated like crap, even by their own school system. Basically, they just get ran over, like, yeah, I don't know. They get like no authority in the classroom anymore to run their classroom. Like, they feel like they're just being trampled over. I know some teachers. But yeah, mainly the pay, because at the end of the day, that's like, it's all incentives, like what are you willing to put up with and not and do, how many hours you're going to work. Well, a lot of it has to do with how much you're going to pay. So, but that is crazy to think. We spend more time in school, teachers teach for longer, the kids are in there for longer, and we get worse results on a lot of things. Not doing something right. Because then that also goes to like the quality versus quantity type of thing. Just because we're in there for longer, that might actually piss the teachers off having to work all day, and then they're not teaching as good. And the students are getting bored. They're in there so long. They might learn more if the day was shorter. Because then they might not be as bored when you're trying to teach them things. Okay. Anyway, that was very interesting. Thanks, Vox. And thank you for watching. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow. I hope so. I'll be here. Subscribe if you want to. And goodbye.